Okay. So one of the most critical pieces of increasing customer lifetime value, which in my opinion right now, with where ad costs are going, with where the changes on Facebook and everything that's happening right now are going, if you don't have the ability to increase customer lifetime value, meaning that the profit you're generating from that customer is greater than that first purchase, you have some issues. There's going to be some serious problems and some serious headwinds for your business, right? And so obviously it's a lot easier said than done. But what I want to talk about today is I'm gonna pull up some sites while I'm doing this. I just want to get some prices in mind because I think some of the greatest companies some of the companies that are greatest at value ladder ascension and understanding the need to invest in customers early in their life cycle are car manufacturers. So a lot of the big car brands, especially the premium car brands, get this probably more than just about anybody. And so what I want to do is I want to dive into Mercedes, Tesla, BMW are the initial examples that I want to dive into. Okay, so I'm looking at Mercedes right now. So Mercedes now has the A-Class sedan. So the A-Class sedan is one of their newest vehicles. They came out with the CLA Coupe a few years ago, and I know they got a lot of crap initially because why are Mercedes and Tesla and BMW and a lot of these premium brands, why are they coming out with low price cars, right? If I'm spending $100,000 on a car, I don't want some 21-year-old to be able to get the same brand car as me. That's a fair point. But the reason why these car brands are doing it is because they understand lifetime value and they understand value ladders and how to ascend people through that value ladder. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to kind of sink your brand's anchors into somebody while they're young, while they're impressionable, while they're still kind of making their mind up about some bigger decisions, right? So if I can get a new driver or a young driver on their first, second, maybe third car to get into my ecosystem of vehicles, and I have a lot of room for them to grow in terms of expanding upwards and have a lot of upward mobility, that's a very advantageous place for me to be as a brand, right? Because I have room to repeat sell and cross kind of upsell these customers their entire lives. Not only that, but then I have the ability to get their kids and then their kids in. So car brands, I think out of just about any other type of industry I can think of, any type of consumer product I can think of, probably have to understand lifetime value greater than anybody because it's so massive if you do it right. There's you'll see a lot of families or people you meet that everyone in the family drives the same vehicle, right? And you'll see, the parent drives the same vehicle, the kid drives the same vehicle. And, what's great is for brands like Mercedes and BMW, they have a lot of room, right? So you can have a 25-year-old that's making 55, 60 grand a year in the CLA Coupe for 33 grand or in the A Class for 32 grand. And then you can have, let's go over to coupes. And then you have the, AMG GT, or the AMG GT 4-door, which starts at $136,000, right? So in the same brand of vehicles, you have a $33,000 car and you have a $135,000 car, and then that car can go up to probably 250 up to threes potentially. And so I have that lifetime to move them. So it's just as cool if you're making 300 grand a year, 500 grand a year to drive a Mercedes or something for you there, as it is if you're making $50,000 a year. And so, Mercedes came out with that entry level. Then BMW came out with the 1 Series, and then Tesla came out with the 3 Series, and now Tesla has the Y, the Model 3, now the Model Y, and it's brilliant, right? Because not only does it, for Tesla and companies like that, it helps them meet economies of scale and get the mass distribution they need, and the mass customer base they need, and mass adoption they need, because only so many people can afford, Model S's and Model X's, which start, in the high, tens of thousands, close to 6 figures. So that's a small pool of customers. But if they can get people into the Tesla ecosystem in the Model 3 and the Model Y, which start, the 30s, obviously that's the goal. Right now, you got to be probably in the 40s, 50s when you add all the stuff. But the goal is to get into the low 30s. If Elon Musk can get, 23-year-olds, 25-year-olds, people just starting their career into Tesla, into that ecosystem, and they fall in love with that experience, they fall in love with the brand, they fall in love with the way the car drives, what do you think is going to happen when they start making more money? Well, they're going to upgrade. Well, where are they going to upgrade? Are they going to try different brands? No, they're most likely going to stay with the brand they love. Now, that's assuming they have a great experience, right? And that's why like a lot of these car brands work really, really hard to retain customers and make that experience great, and also like constantly are comparing themselves to other brands because they're trying to pull people out of their leases. They're trying to pull people out of that life cycle because it's really advantageous for them. It's just like AT&T and Verizon do, right? They're always competing against each other because that cell phone bill is valuable, because most people stay with their carrier for a long time. They get their family in the same carrier. So these certain types of industries, the lifetime value is so massive that there's such demand and competition to get that person into your ecosystem. And so to kind of pull this back and look at what does that mean for our brands? Well, it means you as a business, you need to start thinking about, well, what can I do if I'm up here price point wise, right? Let's say I'm the Tesla, the BMW, or the Mercedes, and I'm up here. That's great. I want to maintain a premium, right? I don't want to dilute my brand by lowering my price points down here. But what I do want to do is get my future customers into my ecosystem. Okay, so this is a very fine line. This is a nuance here. You don't want to dilute your value, right? You don't want to take, what Tesla didn't do or Mercedes didn't do is take the Model S, both S-Class for Mercedes and Model S for Tesla, and just drop the price 50 grand to get a bunch of customers in the door, right? That's not a smart move. You want to maintain the premium, because that premium is going to get people that are ambitious into the ecosystem, right? You look at BMWs, it's like, hey, you start at the 1 Series or 3 Series, and your goal is to get higher and higher and higher. I want to get 5 Series, I want to get a 7 Series. I want to keep moving up that ladder, because that's a statement, right? If I'm working my Fortune 500 job and I drive up my 3 Series, right? People are like, oh, you just got 3 Series. But now I got the 5 Series and I got 7 Series. That's saying something to people, right? Same thing with Mercedes. You get the S-Class and you move up there. And so what you need to understand then is, okay, can I take my my product, my industry, what I'm doing right here, and can I make points of entry down here that don't dilute my brand, that don't dilute my premium, but give that kind of that door open where, hey, you're not here yet, but you're here, and I still want you to be indoctrinated into my brand because I want to help you and I want to be a part of your growth as a consumer, as a person. And so for us, there's a few ways that happens, right? So there's, Unicorn Academy, which is our educational, what's up guys, how's it going? Which is our educational business. And that kind of provides a gateway to our consulting business, to our capital business, right? So our consulting business, we're charging minimums 15, 20,000 a month. That's just kind of base, and we have rev share equity. So, most of our students are not going to be able to afford that because they're just getting started. It's a young 6-7 figure business. But if we can have the academy where they can get in the door for $1,000, learn, we can kind of build a relationship with them. I can help them. Our team can help them grow. Then the ones that are really successful, when they're looking to bring on experts and bring on a team to help them really scale, now it's a natural fit to move to our consulting business. And then even within the academy business, there's kind of entry-level products. And then there's, the higher ticket. Then there's the group coaching, the one-on-one coaching. There's the layers that you can make it. And now what we're looking at doing is going even a step down and saying, well, what can we do in the $7 to $10 price point range so we can get those very, very beginners into our ecosystem, spending a little money, investing in themselves, seeing results, growing, and then graduating. And that's a really, really important part of making online businesses work today, especially if you're running paid traffic. It's something that, again, if you look at, I always talk about this, how important it is to look at what successful businesses are doing. Big companies, big brands that have been around for a long time, that have mass market share, what have they been doing? And so for value ladder ascension, that's what you got to look at. The car dealers, the cell phone carriers, and model what you're doing off of what they're doing, right? Now, I'm not saying copy people, but I'm saying there's a reason why all these premium brands have been playing the same playbook for the last few years. There's a reason why, Maserati now has an SUV, because they want to get, the SUV owner in the family involved in it, right? It's a little lower price point. The reason why Jaguar came out with it, why Aston Martin's going out with an SUV, right? It's these car brands are expanding their customer base within families, within tribes, because that's the easiest way to increase lifetime value. Is if all of a sudden now, not just one person in the family has a Mercedes, but 3 have it, the husband, the wife, the son have a Mercedes, there's a great chance that the next kid who's going to drive is going to get a Mercedes, right? And same thing with Tesla, whatever the brand is. It's the more people in that circle that have Mercedes or BMWs, the more likely you're going to get a Mercedes or BMW. And so what they're trying to do is get into every point of the family, get into every point of that life cycle, and then they own that ride up as people achieve success. So kind of, I just want to do a quick video tonight, really just thinking about what can you do with your business right now to extend the value ladder, either up or down, right? If you're down here price point wise, what can you do that's higher ticket so you can increase lifetime value? Or if you're up here, what can you do to create a bridge, to create a pathway for your younger customers or less experienced customers to guide them to your high ticket, right? So you need to think about either way, what can I do to create the bridge on that value ladder? And again, I just wanted to use examples of car brands because it's the easiest to understand. It's the most obvious when you look at it, like, oh, that's right. That's why Mercedes is doing that. That's why Tesla is doing that, because they want to own that entire life cycle, right? The big brands understand that it's not, that exciting to get a one-time sale, right? Selling one car to one customer and then losing them the rest of their life is not exciting. What's exciting is having a Mercedes customer for life, right? Having somebody that every 4 years when their lease is up, they're getting a new car from you. That's exciting. That's real profit per customer there. And so we can all kind of take a page from that book and learn a lot to implement that for our online businesses, for whatever type of business we're running, whether it's info product, whether it's physical, e-com, whether it's high ticket, whatever it might be. There's a lot of lessons we can learn there. So that's what I have for tonight. Value ladder ascension, absolutely critical in 2019. Thanks, guys.